Next, we're going to do a stamina system. Now, this one's going to be a little bit of a doozy. So, I'm going to right click in our third person character blueprint. And I'm going to get a left shift event. Because typically, you would press left shift to sprint. But you can do this to whatever key you want. Now, we need a few variables. We need more than we needed for our health. So, we need current stamina amount. We need a max stamina amount, but we also need a stamina drain rate and a stamina recharge rate. Now, we're going to set the maximum stamina amount to be default at 100. And we're going to come up to our begin play. And where we set our health to be our max player health, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to set our current stamina amount to be our maximum stamina amount. Oh. All right, 1 second. There we go. So we're setting the health and the stamina in the same way. Then down here on our left shift, we're going to do a branch. And we're going to check to see if our current stamina... Gonna need a lot of space here. We're going to check that our current stamina is more than 0, because we don't want to be able to sprint if your stamina is empty. So, is that more than 0? We're also going to create a boolean called isSprinting. And if our current stamina amount is more than 0, then we're going to set isSprinting to true. Then, to actually change our movement speed, we need to grab this character movement component up here, because that controls our speed. Drag that in, and we're going to do max... Oh. Sorry. Set max walk speed. I don't know why it's called walk speed. They don't sort of differentiate between walking and running, I guess. But we're going to set this to something like 1,000. By default, the character movement is 500. Now, you might want to promote this to a variable and have it where you change it that way. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to keep it at this. So by default, we're at 500. But then when we're sprinting, we're going to change it to 1,000. So we're going to run at double the speed. And if I just quickly come here, you can see that that's worked. Except now I can't stop sprinting because we haven't said to like stop if we let go of the shift key. So similarly, we need to, when we release, we need another branch. And we're going to check if we're sprinting. And if we are sprinting, we're gonna set isSprinting to false. And we're going to set our max walk speed. Don't forget to plug in the target. We're going to set our max walk speed back to 500. So I'm walking normally. If I hold shift, I speed up, I'm double the speed. And if I let go, I've got back to running at my regular jog. So that right there is just a basic stamina system, but we're going to take it a step further. And it's going to get a little bit complicated here, but we're going to have it so that it actually like drains and recharges and whatnot. And we'll also do a thing for we'll do a bar for our HUD as well. So below here, below this shift, we're going to right click and we're going to do event tick. I have another video about event tick that explains it more in detail, but basically we're going to have this code running at every frame. So off of our event tick node, we're going to do a branch and we're going to check if we're sprinting. So is sprinting. And we're also going to check, because right now, if we just hold shift, but we just stay still, we're technically sprinting, and we don't want it to drain our stamina if we're not actually moving. So we're going to do a little check to see whether or not we're moving, which will be another branch. And we're going to get this character movement. We're going to get its velocity. So get velocity. And then we're going to get vector length from that. And this basically just gets like its maximum velocity. And we're going to check that that is greater than 0. So if it's equal to 0, it means that we're standing still. If it's greater than 0, it means that we're moving. And then after we've done that, we need to also do another branch to check whether our current stamina is more than 0. So if it's more than 0, so we're going to go back. Oh, sorry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the current stamina amount. And we're going to have this be... So we need to do a couple of things here. It's going to get a little bit crazy. We're going to get this delta seconds. We're going to drag off and we're going to do a multiply. And we're going to multiply that by our stamina drain rate. And we're going to bring this all the way over to the end. And let's tidy it up by using reroute nodes and whatnot. So we've got our stamina drain rate here. And then we're going to do our current stamina. We're going to get the current stamina and we're going to subtract this drain rate, because we want it to drain over time. And then we're going to set that to be the current stamina amount. We also want it so it's sprinting. Yep. We also want it so that down here, when we check if the current stamina amount is more than 0, if that's true, we're going to drain the stamina. But if that's false, we're going to bring it up here and we're going to set is sprinting to false. Now, the reason why we do this is because if you're still holding down the shift key and you're still sprinting, but you run out of stamina, this is going to stop you from sprinting, even though you may well still be holding down the key. So that's the reason why we've got that there. Now we need to come back and we need to check if we're not sprinting, and we need to do some logic here because we want it to recharge if we're not sprinting, don't we? So down here we're going to do another branch. We actually want it like this. So if this is false, if is sprinting is false, we're going to come down here to the branch. But then if we're not moving as well, we also want to plug into that. So this is where it's going to start to look a little bit messy. But yeah, so down here on this branch, we want to check if our current stamina amount is less than the max stamina amount. And if it is, we're going to set the current stamina amount. We're going to do the opposite of what we did up there. We're going to set it to where I'm going to drag off of here and get it again. We're going to do another multiply off of the delta seconds. So event tick delta seconds. We're going to multiply. We're going to do the recharge rate. And then I'm going to bring this over and yet again clean it up with a reroute node. And then we're going to do current stamina amount plus the recharge amount. And that's what our new stamina is going to be. So we've got it looking very similar to what we had up there as well. So if we are sprinting and we're moving and we've got stamina, we're going to drain it. But if we run out of stamina, we're going to stop ourselves from sprinting and we're going to reset our walk speed. If we're not sprinting and if we're not moving, we're then going to recharge the stamina. So now I should be able to sprint around and I'm holding shift and eventually I should stop running. Hopefully. Oh, maybe I will. Let go. What have I messed up? I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to make a stamina bar because it'll be a lot easier to be able to tell what's going on if I can actually see what's going on. So if you come back to your widgets folder and open up your HUD, and then in our designer, I'm just going to copy the health bar. And I'm going to call it stamina bar. And I'm going to set its position at 0, 0. I'll do minus 200. No, I'll do minus 150. There we go. It's a bit better. And I'm going to set it to green. And I'm actually going to change the size of it as well. Going to make it a bit smaller. You make it look however you want. Actually, I want it even smaller than that. And actually, I might have it below my health bar, to be honest. Like that. I like that. And now that we've got that, click on it, make sure that it's set to its variable, and then we can go over to the graph. And exactly the same as this update health bar, we're going to right click and we're going to do custom event, update stamina bar. And we're going to do a very similar logic to this. So I've copy and pasted that. And then rather than updating our health bar, we're going to update our stamina bar, its percent. And rather than current player health and max player health, we're going to do current stamina and max stamina. And that's what our percent is going to be set to. Up here on our event construct, we also need to update our stamina bar. Compile. We're going to move back over to our third person character. And on the end of this event tick, when we update the current stamina amount, we're going to get our HUD ref and we're going to do update stamina bar. And we're going to plug both of those into it. And then now we'll be able to better tell like what our bug is. So if I'm running, it's not draining. So what did I do? Let's have a look. Where am I? Around minus. I haven't set any default values for any of our rates. I just realized. So our drain rate, yeah, it's because I haven't set any of these. So drain rate and recharge rate, I'm going to set them both to 30. here we go. Now the bar's decreasing. And then now it's recharging. If I run, it runs out. I'm still holding shift, but it's ended my sprint. And I'm holding shift, but it's not gonna drain until we start moving. Just realised the bar's a little bit difficult to see. So I'm actually gonna make that be 20. I like that a bit more. There we go. Got a bit of a bigger bar. You can see that now. That drains, and then it ends our sprint, and then we can let go and resume sprint at any point, and it'll dynamically go up and down. And that's how we make our sprint system. Very complicated, but hopefully, if you mess around with that enough and try to tweak the logic, you'll begin to understand how that works.